Welcome to this special bonus episode of the Passive House podcast. I'm Zach Semke, director of Passive House Accelerator, and we're pleased to be sharing a series of bonus episodes recorded at PhiusCon 2022 in Chicago. These interviews were made possible by generous support from Corp and Zola Windows. In this interview, Passive House Accelerator's Director of Publications, Mary James, interviews Beth Campbell of Unity Homes. Enjoy.
Beth Campbell from Unity Homes. Welcome to the Passive House Accelerator podcast.
Hi, Mary. It's nice to be here. I'm speaking tomorrow about panelized construction. Unity Homes is a fully automated offsite residential high-performance construction company. So we are fully integrated in that. We go all the way from design through engineering into virtual fabrication and into production. We actually have a factory in Keene, New Hampshire, where we produce panels.
And tell me a little bit about your role there.
Yeah, I am a project manager. I just started with Unity a couple of years ago. And similar to other project management roles, just making sure that we've got happy clients for our high-performance homes. Our model is a little interesting in that sometimes we are acting as the general contractor, but often we are working with local GCs in the region. We mostly ship our panels to New England. And so part of the project management role is really making sure that our local GCs understand our product and are able to maintain the integrity of the shell of the home, the envelope, as they're finishing out the details.
And so it's generally the architect who approaches you, works most directly with you.
So we have our own in-house architecture firm, designers, I should say. And Unity Homes is a wholly owned subsidiary company of Bensonwood. And Bensonwood has been really at the forefront of high-performance construction for about 50 years. Started out as a timber framing company. Most of our homes still included timber frame element. And so Bensonwood does have an arm where they will work with outside architects, but otherwise we're all in-house.
And so your clients are generally the homeowners?
Yes, our clients are the homeowners, absolutely.
So they contract directly with you?
Yeah, they contract directly with us, so oftentimes they will have two separate build contracts, one with us for the shell, and then one with a local GC.
Yeah. Okay, but your job there, you do more than just work directly with clients.
Yeah, absolutely. So I was hired in an R&D position. We have a joint development agreement with a major materials manufacturer, Certainty. You've probably heard of them, roofing materials, insulation siding, things like that. They're interested in getting into the offsite manufacturing realm. And so we're doing a couple of pilot homes with them where we're using some of their materials in a new assembly and building a couple homes that way. And then part of the joint development agreement is also that this funding is being used to build some industry software. So the vision being to help unsilo or de-silo, what is really a very fragmented industry, and help to bring, those key players to the table. So we're at the beginning stages of that. We've been in development of the software for about 3 years. I think the vision of it has been since the 80s, so even before the technology existed. But the theory being that that's really going to help integrate the design, build, and off-site manufacturing world. They're bringing in vendors, bringing in architects, bringing in developers, as well as customers and other key players in construction.
How would the software that you've been working on, can you make it a little more concrete for me? Like, how would this make off-site construction more prevalent?
More fluid. Well, right now, if you can think about the software that's available, if you're in construction, you might have one set of software that's for finances, one set of project management software. You're building in a different software. If you're in the offsite construction world and you're automated like us, that's a whole nother set of software that you're working with, and they don't talk to each other. So the goal of this software platform is to allow existing software to talk to each other and also give a platform for some ability to semi-customize designs without a lot of extra overhead.
So that would make the whole process of using panels or off-site construction products more accessible to GCs broadly?
Absolutely. And, we hear a lot of GCs are like, I want to do panelized. There just aren't very many production shops, or I need an intermediary between us and them to be able to do the virtual fabrication element or the modeling. And so, the idea is that just like with the car industry, you would never invite a bunch of independent contractors to build a car in your driveway. We want to help facilitate flow of communication and access of that information between all these industry players.
So going back to Unity Homes' current products, you can basically go on the website and choose which model you want.
Yeah, exactly. So we have some pre-designed, we call them base platforms, and there is it's a cool design system in that you can semi-customize it by taking the base volume, and maybe you want to add on a primary bedroom suite to that. And we already have some components that kind of can click together more like a Lego set, or we already have a pre-designed connector to a garage. Things like that. And so there are design platforms, but within each platform, there's a lot of ability to personalize it, or plug in a different kitchen, for example.
And your wall assemblies are pretty standardized, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Between both Unity and Benson Wood and our Tectonics, which is the outside architects, we have a standard wall assembly that we use. It's a 9.5-inch I-joist full of cellulose, dense packed cellulose, and it's sheathed with zip sheathing on the exterior, taped. Our interior is also has OSB on it, and that's also taped. And on the very inside, we have a chase for utilities. So we've got a 2x3 wall chase on the inside of that, and it's a very flexible assembly that works in a lot of climates, is resilient, and especially is resilient for offsite fabrication when you have to consider trucking.
And it's a vapor open assembly.
And it's a vapor open assembly, and it's an all cellulose assembly, which I love as well.
Yeah, that's great. And you said different climates, but mostly you sell within New England. So it's kind of a similar climate type.
Absolutely, but I mean the assembly would be flexible. However, shipping costs really get in the way of us going much beyond New England. So we have built projects in. We're building one in Wyoming right now that's getting finished out, Colorado, things like that. But for the most part, we stay on the East Coast. It's not limited to New England. We're definitely in Pennsylvania and New York.
And with the standardization of the platform that you're aiming for, do you see, does Unity Homes, which has homes in its name, do you see it expanding at all into other residential forms?
Like commercial or multifamily, you mean?
Well, multifamily, that's what I was thinking of.
So, perhaps in the future. Right now, what we're designing for, the customer base that we're going for is single family homes. On occasion, some families have joined them together or perhaps built two buildings on the same plot of land. But really it is Benson Wood's Tectonics arm that's working in multifamily, where an outside architect is coming in, agreeing to work with us regularly, using our assembly, and then building multifamily. So we have at least one developer in Boston that has put up some multifamily.
That's exciting.
Using our assembly. Yeah. But it's separate from Unity Homes. Yeah.
So, and within Unity Homes, how has the pandemic affected your client base?
Isn't that wild? I know. It really is interesting. I have only been working there a couple of years, so I can't speak from a lot of experience prior to now. It seems like It's really interesting. The high performance market for single family homes, at least, is still fairly niche. And I don't know that demand for housing, just like everywhere, has gone through the roof. And so we saw similar trends of spike in interest in requests for new builds while interest rates were low and, those demands were high across the industry.
Yeah, I was just wondering with the whole, work remotely, whether that was actually...
We're certainly putting more offices in.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering.
Or people who normally would have wanted a 2-bedroom are now requesting a 3-bedroom for the home office.
Interesting. Yeah. And also I would think that in a way high performance homes would be more desirable if you're working there 24/7.
Sure.
You're occupying your house.
Yeah, I live in a 1902 house. It's really leaky. And, my office is 58 degrees and I've got my puffy coat on while I'm working, while I'm designing everywhere, or not designing, but building these other comfortable homes for other people.
Right, the story of all passive house designers.
Right. Yeah. But I think so. That the comfort aspect, certainly. And the indoor air quality is huge, of course. People really want the filtered indoor air and the high quality.
Great. Well, that's exciting to see the growth of prefabrication because with the need for more housing.
Yeah, and I think what Unity is doing is certainly on the cutting edge here in North America, and we've also been privy to really seeing what's happening in Scandinavia and Sweden in particular with their building systems, and our system. In many of the ways that our whole company structure is set up is based on that, and investigating what they're doing in Sweden, they're still a half light year ahead of us, and so we have a lot of room for improvement, which is great because we have the technologies, we've got the capacity. It's just a matter of getting there.
Well, and anything that streamlines the platforms is really going to be...
Exactly. That makes the construction process more seamless and streamlined. That really is the key.
Especially with the skilled labor shortage, because if you can make it more accessible as a fabrication, as a construction...
Right. And in northern New England, who wants to be a framer? You're either only working part of the year or you're in horrible conditions. And, like we say, it's always 70 degrees and sunny in the factory.
Why did you decide to come to the conference and present here?
Good question. It's such a fun community. I'm always learning. And, it's really important. The whole industry is developing so quickly that it's really important, I feel, to keep your finger on the pulse of what's coming down the line and the innovations that people are coming up with. There's just still so much room for improvement. Unity Homes is not passive house. We don't build to passive house. We build always high performance. We often easily achieve net zero certification on our homes. Or a net zero standard, even if it's not certified. But we don't specifically target passive house, any type of passive house certification. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that basically Unity Homes is, the intent is to offer a very high quality home at a lower price point. It's still, I think, higher. It's a higher price point than we wish it were, but it's not that custom single family home price tag, and so going through the extra steps of modeling it and really working through a lot of those assembly details to perfect it with the site is basically not in the budget, nor is a certification. However, our assembly is really versatile. It seems to perform really, really well, and it meets the demands of what our current clientele is.
And do you guys blower door tests?
Yeah, we always blower door test as soon as the shell is raised. So we always at least raise the shell, and then sometimes we act as the GC, not very often. And then we really encourage whoever is the GC to also do another blower door test after MEP installation. So, we always pre-form penetrations in the shell for HVAC and electrical. So we've got conduit running through the shell already to make that task really easy. But we do like to have a comparison number so that we can chase down air leakage.
That's great. And what's the size range in the homes that you offer?
Well, they can't. This is a pop quiz question. We offer a very small kind of ADU size, so we can do something like in the 600 square foot range, up to I think maybe 3,000 square feet might be around our max, give or take. I apologize, I don't know that number off the top of my head.
And again, there are people who could gang them together if they wanted bigger ones.
Sure, yeah. You can make a whole string.
Well, great. Thanks so much for your time.
Yeah. Thank you, Mary.